Well, it's Saturday morning and I was going to brew today, but actually I was kind of back and forth about brewing today or tomorrow, but kind of made my decision for me because this is what we got last night. Nice little dusting of snow and ice on my pad back here where I brew. You can see some snow still coming down a little bit. So screw it. I ain't brewing in this wind. It's cold, it's windy. Hopefully tomorrow because my yeast starter's going, but I'm gonna get some other projects done today. Let's go to Lowe's. Two things going on, and in my last video I showed you this. I'm wanting to move my, I got a mess down here. My C02 tank is that big old 10-pound tank. Excuse me. And it's got to go outside on one side or the other. I wanted to go on this side of the Kegerator back here in that corner, but it's not going to work out, and I'll show you why. Usually this little mini fridge sits up close to the side of this thing, but I'm just going to have to slide it over a little bit. But the reason being, and I did install my third Perlick 525 stainless steel faucet today. It was as simple as drilling a hole and sticking it in there and tightening it up. Not hard at all. So now I got 3 taps going and room for uno mas. But let me grab my flashlight. My regulators, I was trying to figure out where I could mount those on the inside of the fridge, kind of up out of the way, and I did something a little temporary right here. I may redo it. But the reason I'm going to go to the right side is obviously there's 3 regulators, and eventually I want to add a 4th, so that'll come off this side right here. I'll take this 1 gauge off on the left and put another regulator there, and that'll give me a little room over here. But I'm figuring hanging on the back wall there is going to be the best. That way I can set 4 kegs in here nice and easy. And if you'll notice, my high pressure hose, this end's what's going to come through the outside wall, and that little fitting right there is going to screw on to that fitting. I hope you can see that. So they've got this nice protective cover on the end here, and I'm thinking that that's going to be just enough to get through the side of the refrigerator and screw into the regulator. And I know some people have been concerned about the metal, outside metal of the fridge where I cut it, rubbing against this. So that'll be a nice little protection for that. So I'll just drill a hole the size of that clear covering right there and run it through the refrigerator and put some caulking around it. And I may end up having to move my regulators over enough, depending on how far this comes through, without going past this. You know, I want this obviously to be sticking out the side of the fridge. It's kind of going to look crappy, but you know, what can you do? You gotta give up some aesthetics for functionality. So still may look hard at going through the back. I hadn't decided yet. This is pretty rigid. This hose is pretty hard to bend, so I don't know if I want to try to bend that thing. I think my best option is just going to go through the side and be done with it and deal with the ugliness. But it's either that or take the valves off and do everything from the other side. And I'm assuming I can do that, but I don't think I want to do that. But oh, and to hang my regulators, all I did was take, I know it's kind of ghetto, but some super Velcro. You see a little red on the back there. Super Velcro stuck to the back of the refrigerator, and then took 2 more pieces and took some tie straps and ran through them, and then just rigged me up a little copper wire hanger so I can just basically take it off and on. I know it looks crappy, but it works. So that'll be simple enough. If I ever take it off, it'll be real simple. So I'm going to poke and prod around here on this little side and see if I can make sure there's no lines, and then go to drilling. Well, there's no turning back now. What I did was take a really small drill bit and drill around in a circle just to knock the plastic out, and then prod around in there with a pair of needle nose pliers and make sure there weren't no lines in there. I didn't think there was, but better safe than sorry. And drilled on through. So there you go. And I did end up moving the gauges over. This side's going to be kind of behind the 1 keg. I don't know how they'll all fit in here, but or how they'll line up, but that's no big deal. So there's the 3 regulators, and I haven't got it on there, but I'll screw that onto that little end right there. And as you can see, my line comes out over here, and I don't have it hooked up to the tank yet, but the tank will sit down there between the kegerator and the mini fridge, and that'll be it. So I got to put some caulking around there and seal it up good, and there you go. So I may show it one more time when I get down here with everything all set up. Well, I got this project wrapped up, and went pretty smooth. Ended up going to the right side there, as you can see. Got everything back in place, other than all my bottles on top of the fridge. But ended up coming out on this side, and the CO2 tank nice and snug back there. So that doesn't look too bad sticking out there like I thought it would. 3 taps and 1 lonely keg. So I used regular silicone on the outside here, white silicone, and on the inside I used RTV silicone. It's more adaptable to low temperatures, so that'll help in here. So there you go. And questions, comments, lay them on me. Got another little project. I need to make up another line for the inside to go to the faucet, and cramp the ends on that, and a couple other things. Oh, let me show you one more thing before I end this video. Normally when I do my when I use my immersion chiller to cool down my wort, I have a faucet that I hook up outside to the outside faucet, and I run around and have to turn the faucet on and off, you know, and come back and make sure there's no leaks. I told you at one point I was going to put some quick disconnects on here, and I've yet to do that. But what I did today was go to Lowe's and bought just a cheap garden hose that I'm going to run inside over here to our washroom, especially on cold days like it is right now. I can just lay it out and run it through this little area right here to outside where I'm brewing, outside this door, and hook it up to the washing machine. I've got a little T in there. I can just unhook the washing machine and hook it up there and have a nice cold water. But what I didn't know that they made, and I was going to rig up something, but this cool little item right here, that's just a little quick disconnect. Basically this will go on, let me get this thing around here. I should have been better prepared, but just having to think about it. This will screw on this end of the hose, and it actually has a little valve right here. So I can take this, which is a quick disconnect, pull that back, and this little end pops out, and screw that into the end of my wort chiller, and that way I can just pop that bad boy in and turn the valve on and off right here. It's got a little valve, and good to go, man. I love that. I was excited. Didn't know they made those. So there you go. Like I say, got any questions or comments, feel free to share, and don't know what will come up next, but we'll figure out something. Appreciate you coming by my channel. Later.